tug is such a great way of interacting with your dog. You get that adrenaline rush with them when you pull out a toy.
Right.
So how do you use tug when you're out and about?
Well, I sometimes use my leash as the tug. Now that requires permission, of course, from me. But I don't always bring a tug toy with me on a walk. It's something extra to carry. So I will often use my leash as the tug toy. So I will say to the dog, tug, and I'll kind of snap my leash and up they jump and we have a little game of tug and then out and then that game is over. So I've gotten their focus. Maybe we're passing a distraction, or I just need that little extra focus on me. Yeah. Maybe while I'm, chit-chatting with a neighbor. If the dog's plays tug quietly. If they're a big growler, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so I tend to use my leash on a walk, but I would never allow my dog to grab the leash without my permission. So it's a whole different ball game a bit. Yes.
Yeah. And that's one of the things with tug that is really important to note is that we often use it to establish rules. Like you can't do it until I've given you permission and you need to take it once I've given you permission, but not before. And you need to drop it once I've asked for you to drop it. And then you shouldn't re-engage with it until I have asked you to re-engage again. And
and I should mention the leash is still on the dog while I play tug.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. The dog never comes off the leash. I just use the top part of it and we have a game of tug. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's so nice to have that option, right? If you have a dog that likes to grab the leash on their own, I would definitely put a stop to that. I would never allow my dog to just grab the leash on their own and do their thing. But invited, you usually have one.
Right. Yep.
It's a great way of having a quick little interaction with them and then working your out or drop it and carrying on from there. Sometimes I'll use my leash too. I actually have special leashes that are more tug toy like so that they can suit that purpose.
Yes, you see a lot of agility dogs are wearing a leash that doubles as a tug toy.
They're so fun. I don't usually walk my dog on those leashes, but they're there for that purpose as well. And it's a great way of making sure that the engagement factor can happen. And I can reinforce my dog for looking at me, focusing on me. But I can use my toy to reward other behaviors as well. So, for example, I might call my dog's name. And in a distracting environment, if my dog responds to their name nicely, that could be a great opportunity for me to say, yes, pull out my tug toy and have a little play and fun with the dog. So if you have a dog that has been trained to like toys or naturally likes toys, you have an extra reward to use in situations where the stimulation might be up. And the nice thing about that is that it sort of doubles as fulfillment for that stimulation. Right.
Yes.
So if, for example, my dog is keying in on a squirrel and all they can think in their mind is prey. Oh, I want to go and eat it. I want to chase it. I want to grab it. I want to eat it. And they don't get to do that in our worlds, right? Like most of us don't, I'm sure there's lots of farm dogs that fulfill their desire to take out the squirrels quite a bit.
Yeah, or Jack Russells that catch mice and rats. And
for sure. And you know what? I'm sure there's lots of farm dogs that's their job and they're expected to keep the vermin at bay. So, they get that fulfillment. But most of us in our lives, we don't get to fulfill like that.
Yes.
So if my dog is looking for that opportunity to chase down and grab, and I have a toy that I can use to say, hey, grab this instead.
Yes.
That starts to fulfill that desire. And these are some of the ways that we end up conditioning our dogs to focusing on us when there are things like squirrels